Well, good morning. Today is day 4 of my hiking the last segment of the Bruce Trail. I'm in Reed's Dump, and as you can tell, it's pretty cold out this morning. It was supposed to go down as low as 3 or 4 degrees, somewhere around the 5 or 6 degree mark as of this morning, so it's just a little after 6. Starting to get myself organized, and despite a long day, I am definitely making coffee. I need all the morale boost I can get right now. Didn't sleep all that well. Kind of tossed and turned and tried to find that comfy spot, and wasn't able to find it all that well. But I will have something absolutely stunning to show you if you'll come this way. And I think you know what I'm about to show you. Not quite a full sunrise in terms of the horizon, but absolutely gorgeous. On to coffee. All right, so the plan is 25 kilometers today to Mountain Trout Campground. Ooh, water's boiling. And meet up with my buddy Paul. And, sorry, I thought I'd give you a little synopsis of what's going on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so as I was saying, 25 kilometers plus an extra maybe kilometer from where the trail hits the road that the campground is on, and I have to kind of detour off and pick up the road and head to the campground. So maybe 26 kilometers. Not really sure what kind of terrain is ahead of me. I reached out to somebody who's done an end-to-end, and she said that it was pretty rocky, so it's going to be slow going, I think, for the most part. But we'll have to see how it goes, and just keep pushing through, and take breaks as I need them, and I'll have to call ahead and see what time I can check in, or just do it by phone. Anyways, all right, guys, that's it. I'm gonna have my coffee and pack up camp, and we'll see you on the trail. Till then. Well, hi again. Just a quick update on the trail and conditions. Kind of breezy, kind of cold, but only about a kilometer away from Reed's Dump, and it's been going pretty well. Just to give you an idea of what the trail actually looks like. So a little rocky, you know, you just gotta watch where you're stepping, but no massive climbs as of yet. That's my destination, and you can kind of see the path kind of meandering off to the left there. Very pretty this morning. A lot of birds are out. So like I said, it's not been all that hellish just yet. And I was actually going to say something about temperature regulation. So last night I was warm, but I could feel a breeze kind of coming into the sleeping bag, so I'm trying to make myself comfortable, and it was cold this morning, like it was, you know, single digits Celsius. So right now I actually have an Under Armour heat gear compression shirt, long sleeve, underneath this sweater. This sweater doesn't really have a brand name. It's like a polyester rayon blend, so the two are kind of countering each other. So the heat gear is trying to keep me cool and wicks the moisture away. The outer layer that I have on, I've known to keep me warm. So it's kind of a, I don't want to say it's an ideal combination, but it's keeping me warm without overheating me, and it's a very lightweight fabric, so it doesn't really add a lot of weight to the pack. But I also started off with, you know, my hat on my head. So whether it's by season, or like if you're on a long hike, or even just day by day, and especially here in Ontario where the weather and the temperature can change dramatically, especially, you know, on the peninsula here where there's, you know, you're surrounded by water, the temperature can change dramatically and quickly. So make sure you have the ability to layer, and it could be something simple as, you know, removing a hat, or like in my case, I need to cover, you know, this dome. So if the sun's out, but I always still want to have something on my head, I can use a handkerchief, right? Or a do-rag, depending on what you use them, what kind of term you use for it. If it's cool and I need to keep the heat in, then I, you know, put the hat on. And of course, if it's colder weather, then I could put a beanie or what we call a toque up here. You know, a lot of different things that you can do. So I thought I'd share that just because it came to mind. And I'm gonna keep walking now. Not sure how well the camera can pick it up, but just a beautiful scene. Lots of trees. And look at all those trilliums. Unreal. Okay, onward. So far the trail has been about the same as what I showed you earlier. So, you know, the occasional rock and the occasional big step up, but otherwise quite manageable so far. And again, hopefully that doesn't jinx things for later on. And for those who are not familiar with the Trillium or Ontario's flower, or have seen some of the other videos that I've posted, this is a Trillium. And there are three main varieties. That's the white. You can kind of see a little bit of a pinkish hue there, so sometimes you see like a bit of a two-tone, but for the most part they're all white. There's also red, which I haven't come across as of yet. Well, at least not today. Oh, here we go. There's one. And that is a red Trillium. And there's a few more You can see the spots of red in the field of white. Absolutely beautiful. And then there's the striped, which oh, show you this one too. Not quite red, and definitely not quite white. Alright. Onward. That's enough of flowers. So yeah, just a quick update. This is the view from Smokey Head White Bluff Provincial Park. Seems to be hugging the shoreline for the last little bit. So lots of opportunity to fill up on water. Pathway is this rock and stone that you see here. Little tough to walk on, but still better than climbing and descending constantly, so I'll take it. Hi guys. So just to give you a heads up and an update, I just crossed Cape Chin South Road, and this looks more like second pair of sunglasses I have found on the trail. Even trees need shade. Anyways, I think this very part that I'm on right now was the original trail. However, the Bruce Trail Conservancy recently acquired additional land, and as I crossed Cape Chin South Road, there was a notification that there was a reroute. It does make the trail marginally shorter, but it's a more direct path as opposed to, I believe, taking a road, so that's a good thing. It's just past 11, and according to All Trails, I have just shy of 8.5 kilometers in for the day, and my feet are starting to get a little achy, so as soon as I see a nice stump or something to sit on, I'll take a break for lunch, grab something to eat, down some water, and carry on. But it's been a really beautiful day. Terrain has been forgiving. Kind of weird. Wanted to give you another update as to what the trail looks like, since it kind of opened up a little bit. Looks like somebody has been using something for target practice. Although it looks more like BBs or something. Anyways. Alright guys, that's it for now. And I'll check in a little bit later when there's something new to share. And once more, lots of trilliums. Slight update on the trail. Just before Cape Chin, I had a stop and a rest and had some lunch. Kilometer wise, I just passed my halfway mark a little while ago, so I'm roughly at about 14 kilometers or a little bit more than that now. And as you can see, there's a road down below, and you can still see the bay. Terrain is still quite manageable. Definitely have to watch where you're stepping still in case you roll an ankle or two, like I did many times. But also just to check in with you guys, give you a shot of the scenery, digging the birds. Saw one cute little black and white fellow a little while ago, but he just wouldn't sit still so I can get my camera and take a decent shot of them, so I'll have to go back in the shots and see how that came out. But yeah, a little update. Yeah, I'm a little upset right now. I use a number of electronic devices to track, you know, I got my Fitbit that tracks my steps and everything else, just out of curiosity how many steps I take on the trail. I use All Trails to record my hikes, and that gives me distance, average moving time, elevation gain, that kind of stuff. And I know Fitbit is not exactly accurate because it's based on stride length, but I use it as a general rule so that when I look at my Fitbit on my wrist, I know at least approximately how far along I am. So at some point it said that I had, let's call it 17 kilometers in for the day. So I thought, okay, well, that means I should have at least 15 on the trail, and that's more than halfway for what I have to do today. And I took my break and I kept on going, and at some point I finally used the Bruce Trail app, and sure enough it said that I still had 12 kilometers to go, and I thought it was going to be like less than 10. So I'm not really happy right now. Obviously, like, it's early afternoon still, so it's not like it's a time thing, but my obviously my feet are starting to hurt, and I want to make sure that I can, you know, check into the campground and get to the camp spot and start setting up and wait for Paul to join me. But it's a long day, and I am thankful that it's not as difficult terrain-wise as it has been. So with that, I'm going to stop complaining and keep hiking. See ya. There was a little bit of road walking, maybe 1 or 2 kilometers, if that. Maybe I'm just hoping. And then it dove back into the bush. I've been walking, I'm going to call it the soft forest. This is not really a good example, but you can see it almost looks like it's a new path that's been carved through the forest. But the ground is relatively soft. Trekking poles are just like that, kind of disappearing a couple of inches quite frequently, actually. So not sure how much further I have until I'm more solid ground. I kind of want to get through this a little bit more, and I'm not sure. I don't even want to look at my phone right now to take a look at the app or even see if I have cell reception, which, by the way, before Lion's Head, I would say you have cell reception. After Lion's Head, it's a bit spotty, so to make you aware of that. So I don't know if you saw, but I've recently got a Garmin InReach, and I'm kind of glad I did. Any other section of the Bruce Trail, I don't think I've ever had a section not have at least cell reception. I've had some sections where I had cell service, so I could call and text, but I had no data. But the Peninsula section is definitely different in that regard. So fair warning to all you would-be trail goers. And on that, I'm going to sign off once again. Alright guys, not sure if you can read that, but it's about the Devil's Monument, which is that monstrosity. So by the sounds of it, it's not connected at all. It's actually a standing, self-standing piece. Unreal. And it looks like there's a few people down there that have already said that it's been roped off, so it could go any minute. And a nice view. Onwards. Alright guys, I told myself I wasn't going to do it, but then I realized that you guys probably would have wanted me to, and I also heard the sounds of water, and I'm down to my last full liter. So here's the Devil's Monument up close and semi-personal. That is really cool. If anyone is familiar with Flower Pot Island, sorry, bugs, it kind of gives you the same kind of impression. So it's the big piece of rock that has slowly either moved away from the rest of the land or has been carved away from the rest of the land through water, rain, what have you. But yeah, very, very cool. And I'm going to go see if I can go fill up with water. You can probably hear it in the background. And we'll check in a little bit later. Oh, yeah, and you know that's going to be cold. Oh, I can't wait to filter that and drink it. Sweet! So, for those watching the video, it's literally right behind Devil's Monument. You can't really see it through the trees, but you can see it's all roped off. So I'm going to go fill up my bottles and chug some. Now that, ladies, gentlemen, and fellow adventurers, is what we call a view. I didn't even want to know where Reed's Dump is. Somewhere way over there, I'm sure, if not on the other side. So I've been traversing what looks like lava rock for the last little while. Well, actually, ever since leaving the Devil's Monument. And that water is not as cold as I thought it was, or would be. But refreshing nonetheless. And still no cell reception. I tried to call and text the campground to verify what time their office is open until, and I said, you know what, it's my vacation, let's see if they can throw me into some kind of a bunkie or cabin for one night, which may or may not happen because it's the long weekend coming up. And there is view number 2. Wow. Well, guys and folks, I ended up taking a side road and a side trail to help alleviate the pain in my legs and my feet. But I'm back on a side trail and come across this very funky setup. Now, I definitely don't have the guts to go in, but very cool nonetheless. So I finally got some cell service. Called and left a message for the campground. Hopefully there won't be any issue. Oh, it kind of goes in both ways. It was quite cool throughout the day, and as I kind of walked up a sweat kind of thing, I changed shirts, and then it got warm, especially under the sun and in the afternoon. But for some reason, just the temperature dropped a little bit again. Anyways, so I've called, left a message with the campground. Hopefully they'll get back to me, and hopefully there's no issues with checking in. And if I'm really lucky, more caves, then there'll be a cabin or a bunkie in my name for a nominal fee, I'm sure. Alright guys, I will check in again later as soon as I find the next blue marker. Well, folks, I found the main trail, and as you can see, I found something else worth noting, Michiganders Arch. And this was pretty cool seeing it from the side trail coming up to it. It really is mind-bending what nature does on a whim almost. Very, very cool. And again, very, very cold breeze coming through here right now. Feels great. Okay. Main trail again. Quick check-in. You can probably tell I'm exhausted. All Trails has recorded 25 kilometers, and the last little bit has been pretty rocky, as I showed you last time. Definitely in the home stretch. Still no cell service. I get the occasional text once in a while. I'll do another wrap-up, I hope, video at the end of the day. But make no mistake, it's pretty rugged for the peninsula section. I am well past Dyer's Bay, I can tell you that much. And I'll insert the name of the road that the Mountain Trout Campground is, so I can tell you that that's the road I'm approaching. And there's a parking spot for the Bruce Trail there as well. So I'll give you a little bit of a pan just to show you what I'm looking at, and I'll call it there. Hey, morning folks. So I didn't do a wrap-up video last night, so I'm going to tag this into that video for the channel. Got into Mountain Trout Campground just after 6:30, quarter to 7, give or take. As I had said earlier as well, there was absolutely no cell reception. So I was able to get a hold of my wife through the Garmin InReach. So most excellent purchase. Who got a hold of Paul and got a hold of, to make sure that everything was still a go, etc., etc. And when I did get in, I was able to find not just a bunkie, but a heated bunkie, but also with hydro. So it was a bonus on top of bonus. And it's pretty chilly this morning. It's 8 degrees Celsius. Paul came by and met up with me last night. We got caught up, and he also brought a much needed resupply. So I now have some extra layers, and I reworked my backpack a little bit for today. Ended up being a 30-kilometer day, including the trek off trail down the road to the campsite. And I'll give you a very quick tour of the bunkie, since we got to get out. So a wide angle shot here. As you can see there. And inside. Now, this is a new construction, so I think they are going to be putting in a shower at some point here. But there is a double down below and a single up top. Windows in the back and the side. Dresser, space heater, all the creature comforts of home. Almost. Fire pit, and right onto a pond, and they also are right on the lake just down over there. So that's Mountain Trout Campground. That's it for a wrap for today. There's Paul in the background. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, or put in any questions that you may have about the gear. I'll be posting that a little bit later as a gear loadout for the Bruce Trail. And hope to see you out there on the trail. Till then.